Good morning, good day, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Mayfield Mysteries. Firstly, welcome to the Blackwater Podcast Network. If you didn't know, we also have a live play D&D on Twitch, but you can find the episodes here in podcast form if you're so inclined. Also, go find us on Patreon if you want to support us further and see some goodies that we don't make available to just everyone. I'm Yanis, your game master for this lovely adventure, and I'm joined in our solar-powered airship by the wonderful M, the astounding Adam, the stunning Jess, and the utterly incomprehensible Cody. We'll only be in range for transmission at this altitude for a short while, so let's get going. Air, cold and sharp, brings your swimming head back to consciousness. Trent, you feel a dull sort of aching pain that quickly creeps to a sharp and hot. You blink a couple of times, but what you're seeing doesn't make any sense to you at first. It's then that you realize that you're upside down, and with that everything sort of shifts and starts to make sense. You see the broken glass of the windshield and the bright headlight shining through, enough to make your eyes swim with tears. You smell a combination of electrical burning and the iron tang of blood. You can hear your heart thudding in your ears as you frantically try and piece together the events that led you to now. The small trickle of fear creeping and pulling you down into panic is broken suddenly by a groan next to you. You glance over and you see her. Her eyes fluttering open, the same look of confusion and disorientation crossing her face that you're sure you just had worn. A thin trickling of blood drips down her nose and taps on the car dash below. Your seatbelts are the only thing preventing the two of you from crashing down into the mangled roof of the car. You attempt to turn to catch a glimpse of the third passenger in the car. As you twist enough to get a clear view, you find a sight even more confusing than when you had first come to. A long road stretches out behind you, broken only by small pools of light cast from evenly spaced lampposts. The road in the sky seems to stretch on for miles, hanging over the dark star-filled sky that sits like a pool of water beneath you. You see a figure standing in one of those pools of light, watching you, and then it's gone. It's with the figure's disappearance that you realize that the entire back half of the vehicle and its occupants are also gone. The seatbelt seems to give and you're falling, and then you land in your bed, your sheets soaked and clinging to your sweaty skin. At first you think it was the dream that woke you, but then you hear a muffled, "Help!" escape your backpack. You disentangle yourself from your covers and you find one of the new headsets in your backpack, Avery's voice now coming through in response.
Hello?
Hello? Trent?
Avery, did you put one of these in my backpack? What's going on?
No, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I have one. Sam. It's Sam.
Fuck, did she start a fire?
I don't know, but she's in the theater.
Fuck.
Someone is there with her, but she sounded in trouble. She called me on this headset. I think we need to go.
Should we meet there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
How do we, do you think the others have their headsets?
I don't know. I live, I can swing by, Adam's memory is worse than Trent's. I can swing by Tina's. It's not far from mine.
You get Tina.
You get SB.
I'll get over to Sara-Beth. We should be there around the same time.
You look over, Trent, to the alarm clock next to your bed, and you see that it is just past 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know that the theater closes. The last showing is usually about midnight, so even at the longest run time, pretty much everyone's out of there by 2:30. So there won't be anyone left at the theater.
I'll toss on some clothes and then I'll slip out my window. and start
All right,
running to Tina's.
We'll start with you. How do you go about trying to get? I mean, I assume you've never been to Tina's house.
No.
How do you go about getting Tina's attention?
I mean, Tina, would you mind describing your house for me? I think we might have described it last week, but
Yeah. Tina's house is it's like a single story sort of rancher. It's like quite sprawling. It would have been built probably in the 40s. It's a little bit falling apart, hasn't been actively maintained, and there's like quite a few small rooms all throughout. And she'd be her bedroom would be down at the end of the hall, sort of probably like away from the front door, quite far from the front door, but still sort of accessible from the street and front lawn.
I think Trent would kind of, I would go around the house and kind of peek into each window, just like being like, bedroom, no, bedroom, no, bedroom, no, until I found something that looked vaguely like a bedroom, and just hoping for the best, I would knock on the window.
All right. Roll me a d20, and what I'm going to say is that if it is 1 through 10, you find Tina's grandmother's room and don't know that it's her grandmother's room, and if it's 11 through 20, you find Tina's.
Amazing. Alrighty. It's a 14.
Ooh, lucky. Well, you find Tina's room. How do you proceed?
I would just tap on the window.
Hello?
Tina, it's Trent.
What the fuck?
No, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
Avery woke me up.
What?
Some shit's going down at the theater.
Oh, is it on fire?
I don't know, but I thought I'd get the whole gang involved, you know?
I mean, oh God. Okay. God, I've never. What if I could just.
If Tina looks out the window, she would see that Trent is very actively facing away from the window just in case. He's got his back to the window, fully just speaking out, but like trying to talk to the window, but like fully back to the window. Like he's like, I'm not taking any risks.
What's he wearing?
He would be like literally like gym shorts and a tank top. Like he's thrown on the closest clothes, whatever he would like toss on to go to the gym kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Jesus, you can turn around. I'm wearing a shirt.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'll come meet you. I've never left the house in the middle of the night before, but yeah. Okay. I'll see you in a moment. Just wait out there and don't be weird, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Should I go on ahead?
Just don't be weird. I don't care.
Okay.
Just go. Do not be normal for a moment. I'll be right there.
Run to the wherever the like front of the property is, and just stand in the driveway.
Roll me a normal check, please, Adam. How normal do you manage to be?
What dice am I rolling for a normal check?
Let's do a d12 just for shits and giggles.
So that's my flight. So flight is how.
Oh no, it's not. It's not a skill. It's
no,
not
I know,
a skill.
but
it's purely just
that D12 corresponds with my flight. So
Yeah,
I'm having
okay.
a moment of how quickly can I normalize? That's 4.
That's 4. You're not being normal. You are standing both like underneath a streetlight, so that you're very visible, and also very visibly in front of her house.
Yeah, and I think it takes long enough that Trent starts getting antsy and just starts doing burpees to do something, and he's like we're gonna be running soon. I want to be in peak physical condition, and so he just starts doing burpees because he's like, I don't know what else to do with my body.
Tina gets all the things that she needs. Tina, do you go out the front door, or do you go out your window?
Tina's gonna go out the window because she's never snuck out in the middle of the night before, and she's like way overcautious about getting caught. Like she's like, sure, any sound will wake up everyone in the house and call the police.
So you make your way out of the window. You find Trent being very not normal on the sidewalk. And as both of you leave, you take a glance back at your house, and you see in your grandmother's room, you see her peek through the curtains and see you leave.
Oh God.
And we will go to Avery. Now, Avery, have you been at to Sara-Beth's place much?
Yes, absolutely. I think more than maybe not the main house as much, but there is, I believe, a described shed or barn or some sort of offshoot where Avery, I think, spends a lot of time to be alone on the. Is it a farm? I think.
Yeah,
Called
it is a farm.
So I think Avery would know quite easily how to get to Sara-Beth's. So probably a bit more difficult as you get there. I'm assuming it's a big plot of land. So skate up as much as you can and then
You
hop
hit
off
that
and
dirt
have to
road.
run through the field. Yeah, exactly. Skateboard's not going to work so well on dirt, but would uh, would go straight there. Is Sara-Beth's room? Is this like a two? When I think of like farmhouse, I think of like 2-story kind of dealio, with
Yeah.
like 2 bedrooms like left and right. Um, I think Avery would probably know which one is yours, but is just gonna pick up a rock and well, pebble, not a rock, pebble, and chuck it out a window.
What time is it at this point, Yanis?
It would be roughly like 3:30.
The question is not which room is Sara-Beth's, but whether Sara-Beth is in her room or is she up doing farm chores?
That's so early.
I think now this would be the question. Would you start farm chores before first light?
I suppose it would depend on the chore
Mhm.
and what I felt I had planned today, because the earlier you get farm chores done, the earlier they're done and you don't have
Mhm.
to do them.
You did work an evening shift.
I did. So
We'll
I
say
would,
that.
yeah,
So
I
you
think I would
might-
probably be in my room then.
So you
I'll pick up a small as to try to not break the window-sized stone. And,
Coward.
Listen,
your brawn is a
brick.
D6. So I mean, even if you were to,
I probably couldn't break it if I wanted to.
you could, but it would be hard.
And I choose to fail this roll.
Yes. I won't make you accidentally break Sara-Beth's window.
Wait. I feel like it has to be in a window. Too low, miss. Too high, break.
You
gotta find
It's a
that
mini
middle.
game.
Like you gotta find that window.
That's window sweet spot.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll just chuck one up there and just be like that sort of whisper that's not whisper. Sara-Beth!
The whisper yell.
I think it's like the summer. It's the summer.
Mhm.
So I
It
think
is, yeah.
Sara-Beth would be sleeping with her window open since it's on the second
The
floor.
rock flies in.
Well, it probably hits the window part. So after a couple minutes, you just see her kind of appear at the window and just be like, Avery, what? What?
It's Sam. She's at the theater. She went when we... She's there.
Okay. Do you need help?
Yes. Trent and Tina are already on their way. I came to get you.
Okay. Give me like a minute. Hold on.
Yeah. You got it.
And I think probably very quickly, after someone who's had to like roll out of bed every day, put clothes on and go do work, Sara-Beth comes downstairs and there she's in like a t-shirt, a pair of like farm overalls, I think, and just like some old ratty sneakers. Her hair is up and it's like tied with like a bandana. And she's
Now-
like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Important question for all of you. In the haste to get out and get going, did anyone bring their backpacks with them?
Always.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. Just making sure.
And Sara-Beth
Um,
wouldn't worry about waking people up because the concept of coming and going at all hours of the day at the Montgomery house is you
You're
just
probably
go do
not the
chores.
first person up. Like
And
you might be the
no.
only one in the farmhouse currently because everyone else who's awake is out
Yeah.
working or.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uncle Bill would probably be out on the other side of the property or with the animals or something along those lines.
Yeah, you definitely see like a dirty bowl in the sink from someone's breakfast, and there's a pot of coffee, sort of half warm and half empty.
If that's the case, if I know that someone is up, I would write a note on the table and I would say, sorry, I'm going to miss chores this morning. We'll make it up double next time.
Okay.
And just heart S.
Okay.
And then I would leave. I would look longingly at the coffee for a brief second and then I would bolt out the door after Avery, grabbing my backpack, especially the one that has the Go kit in it. I would bring my backpack with my Go kit.
All right. So the four of you reconvene in front, sort of I'll say across the street from the Mayfield Theater to not be too conspicuous. It's a tall, older building. I mean, it's one of the oldest buildings in Mayfield. It looks slightly out of place, squeezed between sort of the newer concrete buildings at the heart of what Mayfield calls a downtown. It has a mismatch of different hues of plaster from many additions and repairs over the years, and it gives it sort of like a worn down look. But there is no denying that what's underneath is a beautiful building. It is an older building that has not been taken care of, but it definitely has character where a lot of Mayfield doesn't. You see, as you get near the building, even just across the street, you can already smell the smell of popcorn. It just sort of is infused in the building and the area around it. There are no lights on because it is quite a while after closing now by the time you guys all make it there, probably around 4 a.m. There are 3 possible ways to get in that you know of. There's the front door, the back door / fire exit, and there's an old cellar style entrance that is a remnant of when the Mayfield used to be a theater, and was used before it was the cinema theater. It used to be used as a theater where people had live music and there was dancing. So there is a sort of a bar style cellar door on the side, but you know that that's almost always locked.
Would that be like a speakeasy? Was it like a speakeasy at some point?
Not a speakeasy. It was more sort of a way for them to get kegs in and out.
I see.
You know, that sort of thing. But it is almost never used. You just know that those are the 3 possible entry points into the building. What would you guys like to attempt to get in? If that is what you choose to do.
I think as we would like rock up across the street, seeing Trent and Tina there, I would look, what are we doing? Like, what happened? Avery, like, why are we trying to go inside? Like, what is going on?
Sam called me on the headset. I didn't know I had one. It was in my backpack. I don't know how. It doesn't matter, but she sounded, someone was in there with her in the theater.
Okay.
She said, I'm in the theater. I need help. There's someone else here. And that was it.
Okay, well, we should all put the headsets on just in case, like, we hear her or, like, we get separated or something if they work this close range. Like, Tina, do they work this close to each other?
Of course.
Yeah? Okay, then we should wear them so we can stay in contact, especially if we have to, like, go and we want to search different parts of the theater for her if we are going to go inside. Have we tried calling her back?
I think if we do go inside, we should not split up.
Yeah, you're probably
We
right.
should stay together.
How long ago did she call you?
By this point, it would be close to an hour. So you got hold of Trent at about 3:15, just after 3, and that he caught the last end of her help through the headset. So that was about 3:15. So it's been about 45 minutes since you heard, and you would have had the headset with you. There's been nothing else from her in that 45 minutes. And Sara-Beth and Tina, when you guys check your backpacks, you actually find your headsets in there as well. And this isn't a situation of, did we put them in here and then like by accident? You all definitely didn't put them in there.
I left this in the charging dock. I'm not sure how it
Yeah,
got there.
I left mine in my cubby.
Maybe Sam put them in our backpacks before we left. I mean, surely she was going to go to the theater anyway.
Maybe she was planning a prank or something. I don't know.
That's so stupid. Why would she
There's-
go alone?
There's no smoke, so that's a good sign.
Okay,
I
but
guess. Okay, well, here, let's put them on, and I'm just gonna try and call her. Well, like, and I would put my headset on. Sam, are you there?
You don't hear anything back.
That's,
Send mute button is on it's on the hit pack. You can use that if you need.
let's
You can't. If we're
let's
not
try the
doing it.
fire exit.
Okay. And if that one doesn't work, then I mean, there's that cellar entrance, and if it's the oldest door, we might be able to, like, I don't know, my uncle. I've seen my uncle Bill like pop a door off its hinges before, so like we might be able to do that if the downstairs door is like stuck or whatever.
Maybe. Yeah.
You guys make your way to the back of the building where the fire exit is. This theater, because it wasn't originally built to be a movie theater, it is actually quite interesting when you go, because there is only one theater room. There's only one sort of auditorium where you can watch a movie. And in order to facilitate the coming in and going out of people when they've watched it, you actually leave through the fire exit in the back. So you go in through the main exit, you watch your movie, and then when the movie's over, you leave through the fire exit, so you're not sort of crossing streams of people coming in and out. So you all know where exactly this fire exit is, because you've all, at some point been to the movie theater, even though you don't go necessarily as often now that you work at the drive-in. And you find the door at the back of the movie theater, and it is wedged open. Someone has kicked half a brick in at the bottom to stop it from closing.
Do you think Sam did this?
Maybe. Hey, before we go in here, I need everyone to promise if shit goes bad, we run.
Okay.
We run, we get help. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sure.
going to fight anyone.
But I mean, like, who would we go see? It's not like, I would assume that Mayfield, being as small a town as it is, has like a police, like a sheriff or something, or there would be no like huge police force. It'd be like one sheriff, and
There is a
Probably
very
it.
small police force, and in the evenings there's generally not a police officer on duty. There's sort of a receptionist, and there are police officers who are on call. So if there's anything major that comes up, the dispatch will essentially call whichever police officer is on call. They'll wake up and head out to go and investigate. But very little happens here in the evening, so they don't actually have need for a sort of overnight police officer. If you are a police officer and you're listening to this podcast and you're like, there's no way in hell that they'd ever, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I don't know if that's how cops work. I made it up. It might not be how cops
if you're
work.
listening to this podcast, you legally have to tell us if you're a cop. Though.
yeah,
You
if you're a
have to
cop,
tell
you
us if
have to
you're a
tell
cop.
us.
Yeah,
If you're a
that's
cop
canon.
and if you're a baker, those are the two professions you have to divulge.
Yep,
I
you
will
may have heard of a
not
baker's dozen,
have-
but not a
I
cop's
will-
dozen.
Yeah, I will not have bakers listening to this podcast. So you better let us know.
Before we kind of make the break inside, can I, since this is in the like main downtown part of Mayfield, and obviously it's too early in the time stream for cell phones, can I look around and see if I can clock where the nearest payphone is, so that if I know that I have to make a dart for it and say all the lines inside aren't working or whatever, can I make sure I get eyes on, like, orient myself on where the nearest payphone is?
Yeah. You know there are 2 payphones near here. There is actually a payphone across the street where you guys first met, across from the theater itself.
Okay.
And then there's actually a payphone in the theater, sort of by the concession.
Okay.
And that's generally like when kids like when you have gone to the theater without your parents, that's where you would sort of go to call your parents that you're done the movie. You go and so they have a public phone, payphone in the reception, like what do you call that, front entrance, the lobby. The lobby, that's the word I'm looking for. The lobby of the theater.
Okay. If stuff breaks bad, I can basically almost guarantee that my Uncle Bill will get here faster than the police officers will. So if we break bad, I'm gonna call my Uncle Bill.
I have a plan B.
Okay. What is it?
Yeah. Share.
Giannis, can I grab a soda cup?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
a fairly large one?
Yeah, you see that there is being the back exit of the theater, there's a dumpster nearby with all the sort of garbage from the day. So there's popcorn buckets and soda cups and stuff
Ooh,
in and
can I get a
around the
popcorn
dumpster.
bucket?
You can get a popcorn bucket, yeah.
Wonderful. I would love to go to the nearest butter dispenser and just start.
Well, we're not in the theater yet.
Oh no.
This is the dumpster. So once we get in there,
Okay, then
more
I'm
than
getting a
welcome.
popcorn bucket out of this. I'm gonna fill this with butter, and then whether it's a prank or something else, they're getting buttered.
Okay, maybe.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's
If they
go
slip
in.
in butter, they can't chase us.
Right.
And if it's one of
Okay.
the fucking stubs, they're getting covered in butter.
Okay.
That sounds fair.
I mean, why would before we consider, why would this? But regardless of why Sam would go inside alone, why would she why would the stubs attack her?
I mean, there's only one way to find out. I'm gonna head
It
in.
could also be a stupid prank.
Yeah,
Like,
we're making a lot of
Stubbs got
guesses
into
right
it.
now.
Okay, let's just go inside.
Trent is inside. Trent has
We need
also
some
joined
hard
the door.
data.
I take
You-
my flashlight out of my backpack
Okay.
and I think, yeah, I would definitely have at least one really bright maglite flashlight, or however
Yeah,
bright
you have
they
one
get.
of those like old school silver ones
Yes,
that start
100%
really
do.
big and then taper to like a long silver tube with the sort of the slide back and forth switch that my grandfather used to have. That he used to side story. My grandfather used to go out at night and catch crickets because they would drive him absolutely nuts. So he would shine the light and they would come out to investigate the light and then he would run after them. Anyways, that's a very vivid memory tied to flashlights for me.
Is there some sort of like brick or rock that's like roughly spherical in the alley before we go in?
No, there's not really any rocks back here. This brick you see, you like the sort of half brick that's used to wedge the door. You get the impression this is something that the Stubbs would use to wedge the door on a regular basis when they sneak out to have a cigarette or something like that. So it's not really like there's a bunch of rocks. This is one that's sort of very specifically used for door wedging, which is why it's there. When you open the door, you're greeted by a long, dark hallway that's lit before the flashlight is fired up, is lit sort of just by the red exit sign that casts sort of a red glow down the hallway. And having been to the theater before, you know that this leads into the main theater auditorium. Do you guys head in?
Yeah.
I don't mind going first with the light, I guess.
I don't
I'm
mind
not
going
really
first
afraid of the
either.
dark.
Trent's already in.
Okay.
Trent's just walking.
I would just walk behind Trent and try and catch up to him with the light.
So you guys make your way in to the main auditorium. And the theater space is much like you would expect a movie theater to be. There's tiered seating that goes up, all angled to face the screen below. You guys sort of enter at the bottom of this. And right before the screen, however, there's a small area with no seats that in earlier times would have functioned as a small dance floor or band pit. And then there's a small raise to a stage. And then about a foot after the stage starts, that's where the movie screen itself has now been installed. So you find yourself in this auditorium space.
I would like walking in with a flashlight. I would like first shine on the floor space and then start like systematically, I guess, moving my flashlight around the room to try and see if I could see anything.
So you see the seats go up. You don't see anything strange there. There's no lights on in the projection room above. And then you see the screen itself. There is a door next to the screen that goes in behind the screen.
Okay.
And then there is a sort of little hallway, like movie theaters have a hallway that goes to the lobby that's sort of across from it.
Can you access the projection room from here in the main theater?
No, you have to go
Okay.
back into the lobby and then exit it, access it through the lobby.
Should we like check behind the screen or something if she's not here?
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? Should we be trying to be quiet, or should we just call for her?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. She sounded like she was in a lot of trouble. So maybe we don't alert anyone.
Her yelling help was loud enough that I woke up through the headset, so...
Oh my god. Okay. Well, everyone's headset is on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go look behind the screen, and then we can at least rule out this room so that she's not here. I think our first priority is, like, finding her. And then figuring out what the fuck is what the heck is going on here.
Giannis,
Yes.
do I know if there's a way down into the basement? Like, because there's the basement access. Do I know how to get down into that area from the theater?
You don't.
Interesting.
So you guys make your way behind the screen?
Yeah, or at least up to the door.
The door is actually not locked. It's one of those things where most people aren't audacious enough to just enter doors in a movie theater while people are there, so they don't really feel the need to lock it. You make your way in behind the screen and you find a large bank of speakers. Most of the sound of a movie actually comes from behind the screen itself. So there's a big, large bank of speakers back there. And then you actually also find the old stage itself, complete with wings on the side as well as walkways up above. The wood of the stage is dusty, but it is stained and worn from many years of use. And it's now sort of neglected. This whole area is sort of neglected and underused behind the screen. But you don't see anybody.
Is there a layer of dust on the floor?
When you shine your flashlight across the floor, it is dusty. People do come back here to do sort of maintenance on the speakers, and it is not it's not like no one ever comes back here. When you shine your flashlight across the floor, you notice some butter grease footprints. And you know that, Trent, you and Avery know that the butter that dumped everywhere when you guys were working today, it's sort of, I don't know if you guys have ever, I know some of you have worked in a kitchen. When you get the grease on the bottom of your shoes in a kitchen, it like never comes off.
It soaks into the rubber of
Yeah,
whatever shoes you're wearing. And
exactly.
those
Everywhere.
non-slip little grippies. Yeah, that's just grease and food now.
So you see these greasy footprints, and as you notice them, you look a little closer. You see that one of them, there seems to be the back half of the footprint. You see the heel, and where it comes to the edge of the plank, you don't see the toe.
Giannis, Trent thinks back to when his coach told the team that they needed to take dance lessons so they could get better at football. It was like an experimental thing that they were doing at the time.
It sounds like very much like a 90s football movie. Yes, continue.
And Trent got real into it. So much so that when the school decided to do a production of Phantom of the Opera, he was the star. Starred as the Phantom, and there's a scene in the Phantom where the Phantom drops down into the underneath of the stage, and Trent goes, "Maybe the stage is hollow. I would like to look around to try and find like access to underneath the stage." And I speak from personal experience, having dropped into a stage before. Adam Lucas.
Yeah, you see where this half footprint is. You sort of follow that plank line up, and you find a small little hole that you can sort of get your finger in. And as you let's do a roll, just because I said we wouldn't roll, but we might as well do a roll. Let me take a look here.
Heaven forbid we at Blackwater actually roll some dice.
I know.
Never. How dare you?
Yeah, let's roll. I think that this would definitely be a brawn. But it shouldn't be too difficult. So let's say it's a 6.
That's an 8 on the D8.
Oh yeah, no problem. You lift it, easy peasy.
Now, does this system use exploding die?
It does. Yeah, you can rip this thing off its hinges if you want to go for it.
Total of 12.
Total of 12. Let me see here.
1 second, guys. Just gonna lift up this.
Whoa.
Spider-Man opening his bedroom door.
So you open it, and as you're lifting it, you feel there's a sort of a resistance in the hinges, and you get the impression that if you were to just wrench it, that it would actually creak and squeal quite loudly because of its disuse. And you slow down, and that lack of halting the momentum, if you weren't strong enough to keep lifting it, it might mean that you actually don't get the door all the way open. But because you rolled so well, you're able to open the door fully without making any loud noise.
Perfect timing of a door opening in the background.
It's the Foley. It's the Foley that we pray
on
for.
Lock right now.
So you open up the trap door, and when you gaze down, you see there's roughly a 7-foot drop, if you were to guess, to a sort of a big soft bag below. And you realize this must have been an old trapdoor that was used for stage productions before this was a movie theater.
Do we see any grease on the bag?
No, you don't see any grease on the bag. It definitely looks like there's it looks like someone's used it. But there is no stairs or ladder. You would definitely have to drop down.
Should we go down?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop down into the bag.
I throw the light down after Trent, and the second he would be clear, I'd drop down after him.
And I'd be there. I'm there to spot people as they drop.
Tina's gonna wait and shine her flashlight down until everyone's down.
Okay.
I got you, Avery.
For sure. Gonna jump.
So the 4 of you make your way down. So underneath the stage, you see a space that it's now actually obviously been turned into a space that the Stubbs used to hang out. You get the impression that this is an unofficial break room for them. There are names carved in the wood above you of what will be the floor of the stage. You see old discarded popcorn buckets littering the floor with a couple of bean bags for sitting and hanging out. every wall down here is covered in old movie posters that have sort of come out that they've taken the posters and they've stuck them up down here. Towards the back of the room, sort of very out of place, you see an old upright piano. It looks as though it might be old enough to be like an original from the saloon days itself. It's been covered with stickers of skateboard companies and scrawled names and phrases in a multitude of different Sharpie colors. Tina, your sort of like analytical brain, it occurs to you that it's strange that the piano is down here. Surely if the saloon was still functioning, or even if it had been a theater that still put on stage productions, there'd be no reason for a piano to be down here.
It's a bit odd to see the piano down here. I don't really understand why it would be here.
Where else would it be?
I mean, would have been upstairs, I guess.
Like, how would they get it down here?
Would have had to.
There has to be another a way to get in here.
Is there another obvious exit anywhere?
There is not another obvious exit. There's a little, upon further inspection with the flashlights, you see there's a little sort of room that juts out. Not room, like little alcove that juts out, and you see a set of stairs that would go up to that sort of bar entrance, cellar entrance that's locked. But you see that it's actually boarded up from the inside. No one uses that. And you get the impression that it was easier for them to sort of permanently close that than deal with the possibility of people coming in and out. You do notice that there is a set of boxes sort of near the trapdoor that you get the impression that the stubs would pull into sort of like a makeshift thing to get back out. And then you're shining your flashlight around, and Tina, you're still kind of trying to wrap your head around this piano conundrum when you notice that next to the piano there are sort of grooves in the floor. So if you're facing the piano, along the ground on the side of it, there are these grooves, as if the piano is slid back and forth.
Okay, this is unusual. Someone's moved this piano at some point.
Can I tell based on like dust how long it's been?
It looks like it might have been moved pretty recently.
This seems like it was quite recent, perhaps. Maybe there's something behind here, or it's covering something up. I'm not sure.
Let's move it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's not my department, so I'll just step back.
Trent, move it.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Trent.
I'm gonna try and
Do you-
I saw you doing
move it
burpees
along the
earlier,
grooves.
so
Trent, you go to move it, and it seems to be like fastened down. Like it doesn't budge. It's to the point where you're pushing it so hard that you think to yourself, there's no way that it even if it doesn't move regularly, it should shift. At least you should feel a shift. But you almost purposely don't notice a shift.
Can I open the part that covers the keys?
Yeah. You open that up and you see it's the ivory of the keys has yellowed with age, and there are chips and small pieces missing, and but yeah, it still seems functional.
Any keys look like they've less dusty?
No, I wouldn't say there are any keys that you would notice would be less dusty. Let me have someone else make a roll here.
What about like keys that are like more worn than others?
Yeah.
They all seem pretty worn.
Is there like a pre-movie tone, like a ding ding ding?
You can try. I mean, does anyone know how to play the piano?
I think Tina would have noodled with pianos at
Okay.
like various times. in her life, but never well.
Do you suggest that? Trent?
I mean, I
Trent knows how to find center C and can count from there, but that's the extent.
You press down on the keys, and as you press down on the keys, you sort of instinctively look up to where the sheep music would be. And you see in the wood where the sheep music would be, you see a series of notes carved into the wood itself. Roll me. I'm gonna say, because you said noodling, I'm gonna get you to do a roll for me here. I'm gonna say that it's a brains, and we're gonna put it at 11, just so you don't automatically succeed it.
Okay.
Make it a little challenging.
Shit. That's a 3.
That's a 3. So you try, but you can't seem to. It's basically what it is the notes don't seem to have the bar lines in it, so you're having a hard time placing where exactly they are. But what I'll say is, Sara-Beth, do you have any knowledge or expertise with musical instruments? Or
I would say that, like, probably someone in her family would. There would probably, I would imagine, like, her mother plays piano. I would imagine that, like, her mother has played piano and her dad plays guitar. It's like a real family band situation. I don't think Sara-Beth's ever been proficient, but she would have seen her mother play quite often and, like, sat on her mother's lap while she was playing when she was little.
I also want to ask, surely Avery knows how to play Wonderwall on the guitar, right? Like,
Was Wonderwall even out at that point?
No, maybe
No.
not.
I don't think so.
No.
but he was playing it, and Oasis stole it from him.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
is-
True, absolutely. I think Avery has like a very basic knowledge of guitar that is self-taught, and that's probably about it.
yeah,
Not
I
much
think
help with piano.
with the help of Avery and Sara-Beth, you see that the where the note you were starting on is actually just one bar line higher than where it should have been, and so they kind of help you see that, oh no, it's actually down one, and so you play that piece back again, and that series of 4 notes, as you hit that last note, you hear an audible click.
Maybe the piano's broken.
I'm gonna push the piano.
You're gonna push the piano. All right, you push the piano, and now it slides easily, as though it's something that it happens all the time. Just slides open, and as the piano pulls to the side, you notice a tunnel behind the piano that descends further down. But as it shifts, you hear a loud and very audible grating noise. And as that grating noise reverberates through your space, you hear footsteps on the stage above you, dust drifting down through the boards. You start to hear dull, muffled voices sort of echoing their way through the trapdoor, which you have left open. And what do you guys do?
Do we hide or do we run?
Fuck.
Hide. Let's hide. She's still here.
Okay.
Where do you hide? Are you hiding in the room, or are you going into the
Because
tunnel?
you said this was kind of like the break room, right?
This is the break room, but there is nowhere
Are there
to
like
go. There
any
is the
beanbag
tunnel.
chairs? Any?
Is the like door entrance to the boarded up door, is that like
It's
out of sight around a
boarded.
corner, or is it all visible?
It's all pretty visible. I mean, it's a sort of there is the tunnel down behind the piano.
Are there any couches? Like if the
Sort
stubs
of-
were hanging
it's-
out down here?
It's like 3 beanbag chairs. It's not like a couch or anything that you could
I think
hide
we
behind.
had. Yeah, let's go.
The
Let's go.
exact wrong
Sara-Beth,
amount.
Like, Sara-Beth, like,
Avery's D20 is in flight, so Avery just books it down the tunnel.
Trent
Jesus
does
Christ.
try and get underneath a beanbag chair, realizes it's not going to fully cover him, and it's like, fuck, starts running down the tunnel.
Now, the important question. Do you close the piano behind you?
Trent would, yeah.
Trent would?
I think, Sarah, I have, if this is a snap decision, I have cool under pressure. So I think Sara-Beth would also have the wherewithal that, like, you don't leave a barn door open.
Mm-hmm.
So she would make sure that the piano was closed behind, but, like, would be, I don't know whether, like, if Avery was running down the tunnel, like, I think Sara-Beth would be, I'd be curious, like, if they were coming down after us or they were just looking in the room to see if anything was down there.
You all sprint down behind this piano, and Trent, you, with the help of Sara-Beth, you guys slide the piano back into place. In your rush, Tina, you are running down the stairs, and you catch your toe on the stairs, and you go down hard. You land on both of your palms, opening them up on the sort of stone floor down here.
Shit.
So you have your palms are bloodied.
Fuck.
Do you guys stay here, or do you go further down the tunnel?
Seeing Sara-Beth looking like hesitant, would hesitant be the right word to describe, like,
I
you're saying
think
you kind of want to know if they're here for us or not?
Yeah, I would. I think my sense is, like, are they just looking in this room to make sure nobody's in here? Like, they wouldn't, I think they would assume, I don't know, potentially that who would figure out to press the piano to open the door. So, but I don't know.
Trent, seeing that hesitancy, is going to push up against the back of the piano and try and brace it so that even if they try to open it, he's like there to stop it from being easy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to look at Sara-Beth and be like,
So the piano does slide out horizontally. So there's not a lot you could. No, it goes. I can't show you visibly because this is a podcast. It's a purely
the wall,
audio
right?
medium. No, it doesn't. It doesn't open like a door. It slides.
No, I know that's so he's basically pressing against it
Mm-hmm.
so that they can't slide it in the direction with his feet up against the wall to like brace. So if they try to push it, he's pushing against that.
No, but it doesn't push, is what I'm saying. It
What-
slides.
Is there
If
no
you-
like? Is there no
Sometimes
like?
if you push out on something, it can't slide, which is what I think Adam is saying.
No, I'm saying he's trying to like basically pull
Adam's
against.
using friction the other direction.
Yeah,
I
he's
understand.
basically trying to stop it from being able to
Okay.
slide in the direction that it would slide. He's counterweighting that.
Okay.
Because like,
force
a
at an
lot of
angle.
back of pianos have like slats and stuff that you can
Yep.
hold on to move them. So he's
100%.
like grabbing onto that so it can't move forward.
Tina recognizes the physics and approves.
Yeah, not out, but
Sideways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. You guys sit there. You guys hold your breath. You hear muffled voices. You can't place who or even gender or age. You just hear sort of voices on the other side. And as you are holding the piano, you hear that first note be played. The note.
I like pull on Trent's sleeve, and like grab on Avery, and we start going. I
start
going.
making your way down the tunnel.
I'm gonna hold for a second to try and buy them some time.
All right. As you guys take off, the sound of the notes of the piano echoing behind you, the tunnel descends deeper and deeper and then levels out. You are far under Mayfield now. And I say Mayfield, you're no longer just in the theater. You get the impression you're under the town itself. The smell of decay and earthiness all around you. You get the impression, Sara-Beth, you get the impression that this tunnel might have at some point been used to smuggle booze during Prohibition. It's got that sort of feel to it. The wood that's used to hold back the earth is sort of rough and sort of feels very old in terms of like how safety requirements. And you get the impression that there might be a network of tunnels like this under the town.
Can
Before,
I go ahead?
before I
Trent.
leave the piano, I kick off one of my runners and I'm going to try and kick it and shove it so that it's in between the wall and the piano, so that if they try to
Nice.
slide it, it creates like a friction block.
Okay.
And then I'm going to kick the other shoe off and just start running.
Okay. You guys are running, and the tunnel seems to be endless. You take a left, you take a right, you come to a dead end. You
Before
turn.
we make any big directional
Mhm.
things, can I pull my compass out of my bag?
You sure can.
And I would have a sense of like direction in town. Is there anything weird that's happening with the compass, or is like, can I orient myself at least so that I have some like compass rose about where we are,
Yeah.
or directions, at least the direction that we're traveling?
Sure.
My brains are a D12.
Yeah. I'm. All right. Make me a roll. I'm gonna give you. I feel like because you are. Let's get the right character sheet here. I feel like because you are like this prepper, sort of survivalist minded person, I'm going to give you sort of an advantage on this roll. I'm going to give you a +2 because I feel like you would have a pretty good idea of where things are in town. And I'm going to set the difficulty at. I'm going to set the difficulty at a 7.
Okay. So 5 or higher. That's what we need. 5 or higher. My friends, with that +2, that is a 13.
Ooh,
I rolled
okay.
an 11 on the D12.
You have this moment of like Sherlock Holmes from the movie style brain where you imagine yourself entering the building. You track every direction that you faced. You imagine yourself coming down into the tunnel. You know exactly where north should be. It should be on your left. But the compass points straight. Something is pulling the needle of the compass off of true north.
Guys. And like I'm whispering at this point as we like continue moving. North should be this way. And there's if there's something pulling the compass in this direction, it's like a really big magnetic source. Something is like, that's the only thing that will pull a compass, is like a big magnet, but it usually just makes the like compass spin around. But like, this is wrong.
Hold on one second. And Tina's gonna pull off her backpack and like put it on her front so she can reach into it as we keep moving. And she's gonna rustle around in there for a moment and then pull out 2 little rare earth magnets that are stuck together and pull them apart. And may I?
Yeah, go for it.
She's gonna move it closer to the compass, and she would have had probably some idea of like how close these would need to be to a compass of that size to start affecting them based on like a normal compass needle, just because of the Earth's magnetic field. So would she notice anything different about whatever is pulling the compass in this direction?
Yeah, you bring the magnet close to the compass, and it doesn't turn until you feel like it's much too close. And as you see that, you let go of the magnet, thinking it would snap to the compass. But it doesn't. It falls, and it starts to flip end over end down the hallway as though whatever is down there, though it might not be magnetic enough to pull on the metal on your person, when faced with another strong magnet, it is drawing that magnet towards it.
There's something really strong down that direction. That's not the Earth's magnetic field.
No, this would have had to have been down here like a really long time, or somebody's brought it down here.
Avery, can you
Towards that then?
give me a brains roll, please?
What if I say no? What does that happen? What happens? Have we thought about that?
I'm not gonna play your game, Riddle Master.
Then I will. Then I will roll for you.
No, that's fine. I got a 10.
You got a 10. Oh, that explodes. You get a roll again.
Ooh, wonderful. Admittedly, I'm bad at this game. I don't know what my pluses are. I just know that my brain is a D10, but
It's just the die. It's just the die. So
It's just the die for
total
brain.
of 15.
Great, total of 15.
Total of 15. You think back to the little bit that you paid attention to in school in science, and you know that some electronic devices experience interference with strong magnetic fields. And you think back to the fact that when Sam was calling for help, it was cutting out. And you realize that she must have been close to whatever this magnetic source is. And that's why her headset was cutting out when it shouldn't.
Wait. Sam's call was cutting out. Like, interference.
Oh,
She must have been getting closer.
that makes sense.
Still not convinced we want to go that way.
I agree. Should we look for our way out of here?
You hear footsteps behind you.
Guys, we can't leave her down here. And they're coming. I don't want to get. If that might not even be the Stubbs.
Sara-Beth,
Yeah?
have you watched many horror movies?
No?
Yeah,
We don't really watch TV in my house.
that makes sense. Nobody knows we're down here.
I mean, I left a note for my uncle, but I didn't
That
say we
you were
coming here.
going to the under the theater zone that nobody knows about.
No.
We gotta find a way out of here, and then we figure it out from there. But if shit goes down here,
I'm not leaving her.
yeah, I'm not saying we leave her on a permanent basis. I'm saying we're in danger, and we can't help her.
I assume you guys are still moving at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't
As-
help her if something bad happens to us, and then that's 5 people with no one knowing where those people are.
Look, I have a first aid kit in my bag, and Sam called for help. She might have done something really stupid, but if it was one of us, she would help too.
I'm not saying we don't help her. I'm saying we go and get help.
Trent, a tunnel this deep and this long, we wouldn't be able to breathe the air if it didn't have a second exit. There must be another way out. There must
But
be
I'm saying let's
something
not
at the
go
other end of this.
towards the spooky magnet thing, and let's find that other exit.
Oh, you want to go back to the Butter Boys?
No, I'm saying let's find some way out of here. I feel like the magnet thing is going to be like the center.
As you say that, you've been heading in the same direction as the magnet, the same direction as the compass. There hasn't been another opportunity to turn off course since you've noticed it. The footsteps behind you. You guys are moving quickly, as quick as you can move and still have a conversation. You just as you think the tunnel is going to keep going, you end up in a chamber. There are dirt walls. The space is roughly circular in front of you. There are no other exits. There is, however, a stone archway directly in front of you that doesn't lead anywhere. It's just a stone arch with like dirt in it. Around the edge of the stone arch are carved runes that you see come down onto the stone floor in this circular room. The entire thing looks ancient, but also clean, like someone has been tending to it, maintaining it. You see some of the wood beams that hold the space, that hold the dirt back, are new, and you notice that the disuse you'd seen in the rest of the tunnels is not evident here. And Avery, you glance behind you, and you actually see glow now at the end of the tunnel. You don't just hear footsteps, you see a light. There is no other exit. You are trapped.
I stand corrected, Trent. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm gonna reach in my bag, and Yennis, I'm gonna put my hand. I'm not gonna pull it out, but I'm gonna put my hand on my flare gun.
Okay.
I'm.
Now we're trapped.
No.
God damn it.
No. It's fine. I will. When they get here, I'm gonna tackle them. You run. I'll buy you as much time as you possibly can, but you get out of here. You get help.
Trent, look, okay, I'm gonna just like pull up my flare gun out of my bag, and I'm gonna stand next to you. It's not a gun, but like it's pretty freaking close. Okay, it can buy us a little bit of like, if I can fire this at one of them, we might be able to get past. Let's just like, if these people are down here, they're either at the steps or there's some adults who can explain this stuff to us. There's nowhere else to go. One of us is gonna get hurt, and I'm not leaving anybody here.
It doesn't make sense. Sam's not here. There's magnet, radio static. Further, she's not here.
Which way's the compass pointing? Through the archway?
It points directly at the archway, yeah. Loud voices echo down the tunnel, and bursting in, carrying flashlights, you see a group of 7 men, led by none other than Billy Brighton. And Sara-Beth, you actually recognize some of the other men as well as members of the cinema club.
I'm gonna kind of take a half step towards them. Is like my family had any dealings with the members of the cinema club? Do they like shop from my family or anything like that?
I mean, in the sense that a small town, everyone has dealings with everybody.
Right.
They know who you guys are,
Yeah.
and most of you know who they are. And Billy steps forward and says, Well. What have we here? More of those pesky rollers from the drive-in.
Mr. Brighton, what is going on here?
Yes, Asher.
Did Avery get a soda cup full of
You guys never made it into the
Butters?
lobby, unfortunately.
Never made it
Because
into the lobby. I wish.
grease and flare gun mixed very well?
He turns to one of the other members of the group. All right, Teddy, let's get them tied up, and we'll put them with Sam. You see, Teddy looks a little uncertain. He says back, "They've seen who we are. They know what's down here, Billy. We have to deal with them." Billy gets a grimaces and gets a sort of this look on his face that you can tell that he doesn't want to do this. And he sort of mutters to himself, "Very well. Trent, you're suddenly distracted. As much as it seems like nothing could draw your attention from this moment, you're suddenly distracted by a tip-tap. Your mind immediately goes back to the dream you were having mere hours before. The sound of her blood on the dash. Tip, tap, tip, tap. You cast around looking for the source of the sound, and you see it running down her fingers. Tina's hand is continuing to bleed. The blood dripping a rhythmic pattern against the stone floor beneath you. As your eyes follow the droplet falling, as if in slow motion, you see it strike the small pool that has formed, and as the tension of that little pool breaks, and the blood flows and rolls down into one of the carved ruins. You see it goes from a dark red to a glowing yellow. That glowing yellow creeps out through the rest of the ruins, slow at first, and unnoticed by anyone other than you, it seems, but then faster, quickly engulfing all of the ruins. Billy now notices as well, and you see he looks confused and then angry as he draws a pistol from the back of the jeans of his waistband. As the rushing gold light snakes back, it makes its way all the way to the archway, and with a burst of light, blinding, casting a sudden heat from it, the Cinema Club turns to avoid the brightness, as all four of you see, standing in the arch, a silhouette of a figure you recognize from that night, Trent. She throws up her arms, and the light gets even brighter and hotter and more dazzling. Quickly, you four better get in here. And all four of you hear it, not said out loud, but in your heads, as you rush and dive headlong through the archway. And that is where we're going to end our session.
Oh my.
You monster.
Well, that has
In
been
the arms of an angel.
exactly. That's been session number 1 of Mayfield Mysteries.
I feel like we have to kind of call this session 2 because the start of it doesn't make a lot of sense without the 0.5. I think
Yeah, we
just
didn't do
start calling.
character introductions. I
I think that
realized.
we call the 0.5 just 1 and
Sure.
this one 2. Like I feel like that's and the 0.0 that we did can just be the 0.5.
Yeah.
think we just
I'm
shuffle
down for anything.
everything.
Yeah, shuffle it all down. I'm still calling it 0.5. So,
Absolutely. This is Yanis's show. He can do what he wants.
I mean, 0.5 is required listening for 1 to make sense, but I mean, it's still 0.5.
Prologues are important, you know?
But yeah, thank you guys thank you everyone so much for listening to us. If you want to hear more of us, you can check out our main campaign in podcast form or at twitch.com/BlackwaterDnD. Also check out our Patreon. I think the session 0 is going to be a Patreon exclusive. So if you want to hear that session 0, go and join us on Patreon and take a listen. And it's got a bunch of other fun goodies on there that we're excited to share with you all. So thank you so much for listening.
Knucklebone tier. The
Yes.
Knucklebone tier and above gets access to all of that sweet behind the scenes content.
So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you all however big the gap is between.
I just did a thumbs up. Like
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
see.
yeah.
This is the podcast. This is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
Performers
What's a
working in an
verbal thumbs up?
auditory medium.
What's a
Uh-huh.
verbal thumbs up? Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about
I feel like
That's why we're doing it
the
as a
ending of
podcast,
this
everybody.
should actually be see you at the movies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, because that's
See you
what,
under
that's
the
what the
movies.
Stubs.
See you
Then the
under the
Stubs
movies.
win, Em. Then the Stubs win. See you at the diner. Get a burger on the house.
Thank you for listening. Sara-Beth Montgomery was played by M. Tina Watkins was played by Jess. Trent Kessler was played by Adam. And Avery Campbell was played by Cody. And I'm your game master, Yana, saying thank you and good night.